My biggest win with the journey has been that inner peace and just that fundamental knowing that I've got full purpose and great deal more happiness.
That was amazing for me, and actually for my whole family. Allowed us to keep this open mind on life and to open to all the opportunities.
I have so much more freedom and self-connection and health and vibrancy. I just feel more alive.
The journey helped me to understand what my emotions are, not to be scared of them.
It changed my life. It cleared all blocks and brought into my consciousness what my heart's desire was.
Now I feel my life is easier. I feel stronger, feel what I feel and find a new solution.
To be free from the burden on my shoulders. I live in the moment now, and I'm open to my emotions from the highest to the lowest.
Until the journey, I didn't really know that I could get to the same depths without using any substance. It's getting easier and easier to connect to the deepest part of myself.
Probably the biggest improvement is my inner life or my inner freedom to be as myself, in myself, not being a victim of circumstances and the other people.
The journey has really been a second chance in life for me. Having permission to dive deep and find out who the real authentic me was and just to be that person has just been wonderful.
When you listen to yourself and when you really touch your soul, something magical happens.
Life is different because of the journey. I feel I have all the tools I need to face whatever life throws at me. Life has become fun.
My biggest win was healing a broken heart, and not once, many times. I would never have been able to be in the position that I am in now had it not been for the journey.
Befriending myself in really accepting who I am, that I am perfectly imperfect and I don't need fixing.
I've gained so much. So there is no one big win. If it had to be named as one thing, I would just say it's life-changing.
It's changed my world, it's changed my life, it's changed me. And it's allowed me to be open and vulnerable and completely transparent.
My biggest win as a result of using the journey would definitely be my ability to network and expand upon the goals that I've had for such a long period of time.
My biggest win since attending the Journey Intensive has been finding myself. It has been healing, transforming.
I am just so much more receptive and open to whatever God has planned for me. At the very core of me, being able to experience that peace has been priceless.
Never get tired of hearing those. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, welcome and good evening, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us again. Thank you, Daniel, also for being here for day 3 of our Trauma Awareness Week. And today is the day of how to heal from trauma. And sort of Daniel and I have walked through of how we can make the evening best flow. And so I thought I'm just going to start with a little recap of what we did on day 1 and 2, and just give you a little idea and talk about the how, a little bit more about the how today, because it is important. It is very, very important. And then Daniel has some more slides prepared for you today. Very, very interesting too. We also have cut out a little gap of time for question and answers. So if there is anything coming in the chat box, we couldn't manage to bring you into our room, but please use the chat box. And we have a specific window for question and answers, which we will go through. We have a little guided meditation with me again today. I got some really lovely feedback yesterday, so thank you for everyone for staying with me and for also commenting on it. I was very grateful for that. And you know, it can't be done in 10 minutes, and yet a taste can be shared. And I think that's what my aim was, and that was the intention. We speak about some of the modalities that Daniel was already promising also. And so we've got some powerful parts for this evening with you. We should be hopefully be able to cram it all in within the hour. We'll do our best. And right, let me get started. Let me get started with the recap. So first of all, day one, we have Brandon here, and Brandon spoke to us about how we cover ourselves in order to protect our bodies, our beings from feeling some of the stuff we don't really want to feel. And yet it's very, very important that we do. And yesterday I covered the reason why it is so important, because emotions actually are the gateway to the soul. And how can I say that? Well, I had a beautiful lesson on that, which I'm going to share with you in just a moment. But I also want to go back a little bit to the slides that Daniel shared yesterday. And he asked me after his sharing the slides, he said, which one impacted me most? And yesterday, it really was how our planet, how Mother Earth, how the world is impacted by people being incapable and unable to deal with traumas, to deal with long-held issues that are still sitting in the body. And so we keep getting reflected all of the things that are being carried. And it's easy to say, you know, we need to start with ourselves. But when we can see it fairly clearly, then yes, please, you know, if everybody started with themselves, it's definitely one step in the right direction. It's a powerful step in the right direction. But there was another slide that really kind of has been with me since yesterday evening. And that was the 𝐏𝐬𝐧𝐠 study, the ACE, what's it short for? Adverse Childhood Experience, that slide. And I don't know if you remember it, but it basically counts out that if we have more than a certain number of adverse childhood experiences, we stand a good chance that we might, if these issues are left undealt with, that with certain diseases. And the diseases that were mentioned, I don't want to scare anyone, but I mean, heart disease, stroke, obesity, depression, cancer, all of those things were mentioned. If you have 4 to 6 of these adverse childhood experience, and the study itself says what it is. Now, I know that I have been doing work on myself for the last 27 years, and I actually consider myself a very lucky child, apart from the fact that not much was expressed or spoken in our household. But I certainly didn't experience abuse, but I was really on the verge of depression and burnout when I came to the journey. How I came to the journey was, that's that little piece of nugget of diamond I want to share with you, because it really, really was important for me at the time. And my kind of jumping to find Brandon happened very, very beautifully and effortlessly and easily. And I think it was all engineered by grace, probably, I don't know. But before I met Brandon, I actually attended a weekend seminar with Deepak Chopra. And I'm talking about 1995, a long time ago. And I was kind of, yes, I started early 90s to really get interested in alternative healing modalities and so on and so on. And so I was very, very interested what he had to say. And much of what was presented and taught over that weekend went totally over my head. Much of it I couldn't really do anything with. But there was something he spoke on that weekend that caught me right in the middle of my heart. And I understood when he said it, what it meant. And Brandon tells that story too, but she tells it a little bit differently. And so I'm going to tell you my version of it. But what he said is, what people who grow happily and healthily into mature age have in common is, number one, that they somehow get access to the infinite intelligent, or quantum soup as he called it then, but it can be unconditional love, it can be infinite peace, it can be boundless presence, whatever. As I said yesterday, it has 1,000 names. So it's that. And the second one is that we uncover old traumatic memories that are held on a cellular level. And if we clear those, and we need to clear those out. Now, when he gave us this lecture, he didn't have a method. He didn't say, well, do A, B, C. So the best remedy that he gave us was to live an Ayurvedic lifestyle, to avoid coffee, alcohol, meat, go to bed early, get up early, shower with sesame oil, go and meditate. And then if you're really, really lucky, it could just happen. You know, something could happen. Well, I really did try, honestly. And I was in my 30s then, and I tried very hard. And my husband laughed at me, and nothing happened. And so after 2 or 3 months, I just gave up. And I thought, well, if this is what it takes, it's obviously not for me. and so I left it. And then it was months later, I had an invitation to an introductory talk from Brandon. And actually what she said, now on this journey weekend, what you learn is on day one, you undergo a process where you open into the infinite intelligence. I thought, oh, that's interesting. On day 2, you uncover old traumatic cell memories and clear them out completely. And then I thought, well, if she can do that, then that's a miracle. That's like, then everybody can grow happy and healthy into mature age. That's like the holy grail of life, you know. And so I talked myself out of it before I talked myself in, because I thought it can't be that simple. It's impossible. It can't be. It's got to be more complicated. So to cut a long story short, I did manage to go to this first weekend, and there it was. On day 1, we did exactly that. We did a process that opened us, like I gave you a little tiny taste down through emotional layers, and you open into a profound presence of you, of an essence that is all of life, that is infinite, that is, as Deepak calls it, quantum soup, that is boundless, that is whatever the name you may have experienced yourself at some point. And this process is repeatable. So we can do this over and over. So I actually became quite hooked and just kind of made it a daily practice. But then also on day 2, she has a process that guides us into parts of our body, which you also had a tiny little taste yesterday, where we may have some old unresolved issues or trauma stored. And we have a process work that helps us release this completely, entirely. And there are different elements to it. But once you have dealt with this issue, it's gone. And so if we have studies that tell us that 4 to 6 unresolved issues, adverse childhood issues, can lead to serious illness, then my big recommendation is start something now. Start something now, because there is work available that helps us to not only uncover it, but to clear it out. And once something is cleared out, life takes on a different color, it takes on a different richness, and it can become happy and healthy. And so that's the message. That's the message I want to start with for today. And I want to bring us back to Daniel, to some of his beautiful slides and work that he's been doing. So thank you, Daniel. I hope that was clear, but I
Totally.
I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gaby. I wish we had a lot more time, and hopefully our paths cross again, because I would love to tell my own story of how I came to the journey. but you can already tell I'm a slightly different animal to Gaby. When I came to the journey, I wanted to research all the different modalities to make sure I got a good one or the right one. I had the results. I definitely cleared issues that I had been with me for many years that I tried through traditional therapies, cognitive behavioral therapy, and other avenues. And my role today, I prepared actually a little document. It's a 5-page document that will be available to you. So if you want to go deeper, in here is a little bit more, and that will be made available in the Facebook group at the end of our talk. So feel free to download it, print it out, study it, do your own research. But for today, I have prepared 3 distinct areas. There is a quote I want to start with, and that quote is really important for me, and I even put my name to it. I've written that out because the healing of individual trauma, and I really hope I could get that across yesterday, the responsibility for our own mental, emotional, and physical health, taking not control and charge. I'm old enough to know that we cannot fully control these things, but we can take responsibility for our state, emotional, mental, emotional. And if we do that, the impact on society and environment will be direct and will be accumulative. That means the more of us take responsibility for our own emotional health, our physical health, our mental health, the better our families, societies, and the world as a whole can become, and the environment as well. So as a matter of fact, the first section of this 5-page document talks about the societal and environmental impact of humanity living with trauma. It is clear from our studies and many studies that every human being is exposed to some degree to trauma. And I'm not just even talking what we've all been through collectively through COVID. That is a collective trauma. Plus, you add to it the daily onslaught of media, the wars in the world, the fear about the future, add to it artificial intelligence. And this is really not to want to put your nervous system in high alert, but saying, please, this is why we said awareness, acceptance, and action are the 3 cornerstones of these 3 days. Let's accept we all have it, and let's now take concisive action towards bettering this. So the slides I have prepared, the first is 10 benefits of healing from trauma. And hopefully that inspires you to go through the first experience and saying, yes, I am ready, I'm willing for the positive outcome I can expect. This is science, this is medically proven. The second part I'm sharing with you is from all my research, what are the common denominators? What are the common ingredients of modalities that have been widely recognized as trauma healing modalities? So if you look for your own choice, then this is a good yardstick to measure these modalities by and say, you know, a good modality that can really help me from trauma, to heal from trauma or clear trauma, should have these ingredients. And of course, the journey ticks all the boxes, so to say. And then I have listed 10 trauma healing modalities. Some of them you might have heard of, some you might have not heard of. Now, I am clearly biased. I'm here. I'm working for the journey. This is I'm volunteered, to work with this company because I love the work and what it does. But I want to also show you other modalities, and you might be attracted to something else. But I will clearly would like you to check out the journey. And as a matter of fact, at the end of our time together here, I want to invite you to learn the modality, to not go into a therapeutic process with somebody, but learn it yourself so you can use it on yourself, use it in your family, use it with your friends, and start the healing process for yourself and others. So let me just bring these slides here. And the first is this quote. Let me read it out to you, and hopefully it resonates with you. Addressing the root causes of trauma and providing comprehensive support for recovery are crucial, not only for the direct benefits to individuals, but also for the broader societal and environmental health. So this speaks to the notion that if we take care of our own health, it will have an impact on the wider health of society and the environment. Promoting resilience and recovery in traumatized populations can lead to more robust communities, capable of engaging positively with one another and the environment, fostering a cycle of healing and sustainability. So I hope, and I can't see you all and ask for your show of hands if you agree with these statements, but I believe we all would want to see a more sustainable, more productive, more robust communities. We'd like to see that. So the path to that is, in my eyes, not to go and demonstrate or claim anything, but to start with yourself. So this is why it matters. So let's talk about the 10 benefits of clearing trauma. And again, feel free to download this document at the end of the presentation. There's a lot more info for every single point. But if you were to start clearing your trauma, these are 10 benefits you can expect. Improved mental health, enhanced emotional regulation. Now, when I study trauma modalities, many of them are only, sadly, looking at emotional regulation. So they help you to get back into a better state in the moment, but they don't actually clear all trauma. So you learn to regulate your emotional state, but this is just one of the aspects if you do a wider clearing. Restored physical health. The 𝐏𝐬𝐧𝐠 study that predicts that if you stay with trauma, you can expect chronic disease to 1,000% more likelihood than if you were cleared from these issues. By clearing the trauma, you restore health. The body will naturally restore health and go and heal itself. Strengthened relationships. The impact on relationships once we are cleared from some of the most trauma has happened in relationship, and therefore when it is cleared, it will have a direct impact on relationships, your intimate and wider relating. Increased self-esteem. Much of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, a disorder of self-regulating based on a trauma that happened a long time ago, has an impact on negative spirals, negative self-talk. And once that is gone, or that voice quiets or disappears, you will have increased self-esteem as you see yourself as a different version, a different person. Greater life satisfaction. It's a natural aspect and consequence of clearing from trauma. Expanded sense of safety. Now, this is huge. We can look out into the world and see threat almost everywhere. But if you are clearing some of the basic trauma, then you will have a different response to supposed threat. And that means that you will feel safer. Now, the world in itself won't have changed, but how you feel about it is different, which means you can act differently. You can react and proactively take different actions when you have an expanded sense of safety. Enhanced cognitive functioning. It is shown and it is proven that when you clear certain traumas, that your cognitive ability, your ability to think clearly, to make more difficult, connected, strategic decisions or understand wider context will naturally improve without having to do anything. There's also personal growth and insight. Gaby spoke to it yesterday, that her belief is, and I share that belief, I underscore this notion that we're here to grow and learn and grow to wake up. And insight into your own patterns of behavior, your modus operandi. Why do we operate a certain way in the world? Much of it is trauma driven. So when this trauma impulse, this drive is going away, you will have a very different experience of who you are, how you show up, how you live your purpose, and how you show up in the world. And number 10 is a sense of closure and peace. And this cannot be underestimated. As a matter of fact, I believe that having a sense of inner peace is for very, very many people most possibly the biggest thing we can experience in life. So a sense of making sure that the past is gone and it's finished, not avoided, not locked away, but actually it lost its grip on you. So no more rear view mirror driving, as I like to call it, right? We can actually embrace life as it comes to us instead of constantly looking at all the things that are behind us that are still having the grip on us. So that was the 10 benefits you can expect when you actually start clearing trauma. Let's look at the 10 ingredients that I found. Most of the successful, widely acclaimed trauma healing modalities have that in common. And as I said to you already in the intro, the journey ticks all the boxes. But successful trauma healing needs a sense of safety and trust. Unless you feel safe in the environment or with the therapist or practitioner, you will have your guards up, your nervous system will be in response and not open to that. So safety and trust is number one. You need to be able to somehow process the trauma. So there's no way around it. The only way out is through, as we sometimes say in the journey. So you have to actually at one point process it. But I want to take away some of the fear around that. This is not about re-traumatization, as Brandon said it very clearly, but it is inviting your body to bring up whatever can be processed on the day. The body, with its much greater intelligence than your mind, will show you a way how to process it in a way that you might not expect. But if you want to really clear it, it is not just a way of reframing it, but it is a way you need to process. There is mindfulness and awareness. So nobody can do it to you. There has to be a willingness, a readiness, an awareness from yourself to go into a process like this. If you don't want to heal from it, if you don't want to engage, then no practitioner, no modality can do it to you. Regulation of the nervous system. Now, we've already experienced some of that. The easiest part is the relaxation, the closing the eyes, the going inside. But every successful technique will teach you ways to regulate the nervous system. If you're not spent time in this field, then maybe the word dysregulation doesn't mean that much to you. But most people who have experienced trauma have a dysregulated nervous system. That means they're much more prone to reaction, to excitement, to fear response, to wanting to hide. Everything I shared yesterday, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, collapse, will be a response of a dysregulated nervous system. Number 5, cognitive reframing. Now, there are some modalities that do that as the only aspect. And for me, that's not enough, but you make your own decisions, of course. Just to look at an event and say, actually, it was different is not enough, but it's an aspect that we also experience in the journey. But it is an experience that you realize that what you thought took place, but in a very different context. So this is sometimes called cognitive reframing, the recognition that something else took place or something more took place that you could not back then ascertain or see. Number 6, there has to be a form of emotional release. Now, some techniques go for the full out release, an explosion. In the journey, we encourage an implosion, so to say, so an internal processing, but there has to be a release or a feeling, an absolute clear feeling of the emotion. There has to be an aspect of body-mind integration. So you cannot process trauma in the mind, and you cannot process in the body without the mind playing along. So the integration is key. And in any journey process that you ever undergo, the body-mind integration and the future integration and sensing in your body that if what just took place really took place, you didn't just imagine it, is a key component. And not all modalities do that, but in the journey we do that. This is my personal favorite. I believe that every good modality that deals with trauma should ultimately empower you for autonomy. So the last thing you want to do is create a dependency on a modality or a therapist that you feel in need of them to heal you, which is never true. I want to be crystal clear. Nobody can heal you. Your body wants to heal, but we can create an environment in which the healing is more likely. We can greatly increase the odds by having a trained facilitator or a modality that has got 30 years of background like the journey. It will greatly increase the odds that your body gets the signals to say, yes, I am safe. Yes, I am ready. And the emotion will come, the memory will come, and the healing will come effortlessly. Resilience and positive attributes. Now, I like the idea. When Gaby says, I've been doing this for 30 years, you might be wondering, how many processes can one person do? Why are we still processing? Now, as you go deeper and deeper into clearing your past, your capacity for inviting life, it's incredible, the amount of resilience you can build, and the positive attributes you will discover are part of your DNA, but they were covered by trauma, by fighting, by responding to outside environments. So any good modality will naturally build your resilience and give you more and more positive qualities. And last but not least, any good modality, as prescriptive as the outline might look, it has to be personalized and adaptable. You know, if somebody says, here are the 5 steps and everybody has to do that, I would already be a little bit suspicious, because everyone is different. And our practitioners, or in the journey intensive, we are going through a step-by-step outline, but it is widely adaptable, so it can really be personalized to you. So I feel I've been monologuing here for quite a while. So let me quickly check in with Gaby. Is that useful, Gaby? Can I bring you in here?
Yes, amazing. Thank you, Daniel. That's it's beautiful the way you have documented all, and the way you have formulated and given us the benefits and what is necessary to deal with trauma. Absolutely, I'm wholeheartedly agree, and so thank you very, very much for putting it together.
I hope it's not too mental, but I sometimes feel people need a bit of contextualization, so we're not talking in a vacuum. This is all connected to ourselves, our life, our families, our society. This is all one. We are really in one consciousness. So bringing awareness to it. Is it okay if I spend a few more minutes on some of the most well-known modalities?
Please, absolutely do. Yeah? Yes, I'm sure people are waiting for that. And I also wanted to say, I know it's been said in the Facebook posts, but if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm not sure if you're seeing that. The document and the points that Daniel has shared will be posted in our Facebook group, in the Trauma Awareness group, after the end, or at the end of this call today. So you have access to that, to all of it. And so you don't need to make notes. You don't need to try and remember it. It's all going to be there.
Yes, that's a good point. And if you're on YouTube watching us only, feel free to send me an email, daniel@thejourney.com, and I will send you the document as well. It's a 5-pager. I just put it together. I hope it will help. Okay, let's carry on. Thank you, Gaby. So let's go to the last ones. So I've done some research, and there are hundreds of so-called trauma healing modalities. I tried to give you here 10 of what are called widely known or widely accepted modalities. Now, I am biased. I said that already. I work for the journey. This is why, for me, the journey is number one, the journey method. And at the end of today, I would like to invite you to learn this modality for yourself. It's been the greatest gift to me and my loved ones. The journey method, and Gaby already described it, is a emotional and physical healing method that goes directly and unearths cell memories and whatever energy is bound with these memories. and through a very gentle and very intelligent way releases the stuck energy. Now, memories might show up, an inner world process. This is a guided introspection, you could call it. From my experience, it is long lasting in its healing effect, and it is very profound. The second one that is something I tried, very well known, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's got its plus points, but cognitive behavioral, it does mean that it looks at the mind and looks at behavior. Now, from my understanding today, and for some people, this is maybe the right approach or the first approach, but it is lengthy, and you might end up many months in the process skirting round the issue, because you have built intelligent patterns to not look at it. You have built body defenses and ego defenses to not feel that experience. So CPT, I've been through a 6 month of CPT with a good therapist, and I had definitely benefits from it. But for me, it didn't go to the core of the trauma. Yet it is still, if you Googled it, one of the best known modalities out there. From my point of view, not the most direct approach, and it's extremely dependent on the facilitator. In the journey method, the facilitator is literally holding space for your own process to take place inside of you. With CPT, there's a lot more influence from the facilitator. There's one modality that you might have heard of called EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And the idea is that we re-experience part of the trauma through the body. So this is what also many modalities have in common. Again, it needs guidance. You spend a few €100 most likely on a single process with those modalities, and the therapist guides you through a closed eye process where you reprocess some of the stuck emotions and memories. There is somatic experiencing, and as the word says, it is a re-experiencing as well in the body. And I've written up a little bit and document. This has been founded by Dr. Peter Levine. It's a body-oriented approach, and the idea is to help release tension in the muscles, and with that release some of the fascia trauma that is stored in the body. It's a body technique. EFT, emotional freedom technique, often known as tapping. It tries to distract you, and this is my summary, and there will be maybe an EFT practitioner who is not happy with my summary, but it is through the tapping that you are distracting the body from its own defense mechanism, moving to the area of tapping, and with the tapping and spoken words from the facilitator, release trauma or re-experience trauma while you're doing the tapping. It's also very well known. I've only had 1 or 2 sessions myself, but it might be a technique that attracts you. Narrative therapy, we're coming more to the slightly lesser known ones. Narrative therapy really tries to reframe the story of what happened. That for me is not the most potent way, and it only works for a certain type of person, a very visual person, and it needs a very, very powerful trust relationship with the practitioner, because you are literally going back to the story and reframing, retelling the story in a new light. Again, a slower process. Prolonged exposure therapy, sometimes this I would almost put an asterisk to it as a risky, because the idea is you going back to re-experience the trauma. Often been tried with war veterans. They try to bring them back, even with virtual reality, into the same situation, so to experience it again and again to hopefully lessen the impact. The verdict's out if that's really happening. Sometimes people get re-traumatized and it gets worse. So please do your research before you venture into prolonged exposure therapy. The idea is that you re-experience the trauma to be done with it. Definitely not something I was ever drawn to. Psychodynamic psychotherapy. Some of these psychotherapy aspects, they are part of what they call positive psychology, where we try to influence how we experienced it. Let me see who actually founded that. I think it's here, psychodynamics. Yeah, this goes back to trying to understand the drives underneath the behavior. Again, very much, most of these are very much dependent on the individual therapist. Sensory motor psychotherapy uses the idea of feeling and movement, and then uses psychotherapy to try to release trauma. And there is IFS. IFS, internal family system, is the idea that we have parts of ourselves. Sometimes it's called shadow work. And by inviting the parts we're hiding and literally bringing them into it, there's an integration taking place, which sometimes, as a side effect almost, can release trauma. But it's not primarily known as a trauma therapy. Now, there are many more, but I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview. I did put the journey first for many reasons. And if you are drawn to any of the others, please do your research, check it out. But my invitation today is super clear. This has been around for 30 years. It is very successful. It is very easy to learn. It's one of the few that you can learn yourself in a weekend workshop, a weekend seminar. And with that, I really hope that my contribution was valuable. And I want to hand back to Gaby, who's going to take us into an experience, an inner world experience.
Thank you, Daniel. That was amazing. I'm biased too, by the way. I just need to say it. And I am biased because I guess with what I have experienced, with what I have seen over the many years and the thousands and thousands of people, healing is possible. And I'm using the word trauma here because I've seen so much of it, and I just wish more people knew about the journey. I wish more people owned the journey tool to use it in their lives. And for all of us who have done this work however long ago, some people have done it a month ago, some 25 years ago, whatever it is, but the tools stay with you. And so whatever we are faced with, I think one of the guys, when we play those little videos at the beginning, said, you know, whatever life throws at me, it's true. And life continues to throw stuff at us. And it is, I do believe it is, they're just repetitions of the things we need to learn. And so if we have been abandoned, or if we need to heal from abandonment, so some of these issues will reoccur until we learn our lessons. And the journey is just a beautiful tool to do that with. And once it's been cleared from our cells, from our system, from our body, it's really gone. And I think that's the one big difference with so many other things. It doesn't need repetitions. It doesn't need affirmations. I don't need to tell my thing I have to do. It kind of, the body changes ultimately. The reprogramming happens at a much deeper level, at an other than conscious level. And that's the beauty about the journey. So we don't need to get into telling story of what we think it is. Our body throws up and out what the issues are, and it knows exactly in which sequence it needs to be cleared. It needs to be digested, if you want to call it that. So anyway, I just thought we had some process work every day. Yesterday was a very brave attempt from me to guide you a little bit into what the journey is capable of doing, and it was only meant. So if you didn't see anything, if you didn't feel anything, it was meant to be a little taster. This is not a 10-15 minute thing. So there is profound learning at a workshop that we offer. And so it really was a taste. But I have something different for you today. And I just want to guide you, and please consider it once more a divine experiment. But we call it a conscious choice, and we actually allow our body to give us a signal what it wants for us. And so this is not, there's nothing I'm doing to program you. I'm just giving your body the option to feed back to you what it wants. And so if you care to join me, then Chris will put on this slide and I take you through this guided introspection exploration. And I see you on the other side. Thank you. So just closing your eyes. I just want to say thank you one more time for joining us, for being with us, for really drinking in all that's on offer here, all the information that's available. And so there is gratitude coming from me to you, and also thanking yourself for taking the time to really want to take a proactive step in the right direction in healing whatever has been unresolved, whether it be a milder issue, whether it's a severe trauma, whatever it is. And so once again, just allowing any holding to just melt away. Bringing your awareness into this moment, just by following the breath, or maybe just being aware of how your back is resting against the chair, or how your feet are on the floor. Just bringing awareness inside your body right now. And every breath you take, you just relax a little bit more. Softening, relaxing, being. Allowing the mind to just drift. If the mind has any questions right now, just let it know that there is time afterwards. So much information has been shared. And the mind, if the mind wants to go to Facebook and look at all of the stuff that's already there, then maybe it wants to do that. While we are staying here in this present moment, awareness. And where you are right now, just imagining two pathways. One, it's like a V shape. There is an apex where you are standing right now, and then there is a path that moves to the left, and then there is a path that moves to the right. And first of all, we're going to walk down the left-hand path. And this is the path of no change. And all I'm asking for you to do is just sense into your body what your body feeds back to you. And so with everything we have learned, with everything we have experienced and heard here on these 3 days, I'm asking you to just step on this left-hand path, and you come away from here and you do nothing. You continue on as you have for however long before. You do not take any steps to follow any healing modality. Not the journey, not anything else, or any of the activities that were recommended yesterday. You do nothing. And just get a sense of what it feels like a week from now. You have been educated. And what does your body feel like a week from now? No decision's been made, you're doing nothing. And then I'm asking you to walk further down this left-hand path to a month from now. We are now already in May. No decision's been made, nothing has been done. What do you feel like? How does your body feel? How is your breath? How are your shoulders? How do you stand? Just become aware of it. It's only a month from now. No proactive action, no responsibility to do anything, just staying as you are. And then walking further into the future, 6 months from now. What's it like? How does your body feel? You just stay same old, same old. How's your mind feel? How do you feel emotionally? Is there any part of you that's inspired? What's it feel like on the inside? And then one more step into the future, a year from now. You've heard all that is possible, even that it's easy, and you have done nothing. Haven't taken any steps, haven't taken any action. What does it really feel like to be you a year from now, you? Just tuning into your being, your body, your energy field. And then turning around and walking back those few steps from 1 year to 6 months, from 6 months to a month, from months to a week, and coming right back to the apex, and just shaking your shoulders a little bit, then come to neutral, shaking your arms out and breathing out everything that we've just experienced. Great, you're doing great. And here we've got the right-hand path now. And the right-hand path is the one where we actually take proactive action. Today, tomorrow, in a week's time. So stepping into the future a week from now. And just feel what it feels like. How does your body feel? How does the energy flow inside your body? You may have taken one of these initiatives that Daniel shared, or maybe you have even registered to the Journey Intensive. Whatever it is, but just feel what the body feels like right now. It's only a week from now. And then stepping further into the future, a month from now. This healing has continued right now. Some of the issues have already been released. You're starting to get lighter. Feel what it feels like to be you 1 month from now. How are you standing? How are you breathing? How are you interacting with your friends, with your loved ones, with your family? And feel the energy in your body. And then stepping into the future 6 months from now. Do you know that in 6 months, 75% of our cells have already renewed themselves? So much of the original issues and symptoms and whatever suffering, pain, illness, whatever it was, is already healing on its way out. And feel what it feels like to be you 6 months from now. How does your body feel? Beautiful. And then one final step into the future, 1 year from now. It is now April 2025. You have followed through with everything that is possible. You have taken on board some of what you've learned here. And just feel what it feels like. How the healing has penetrated through your whole physical system, through your body. How the energy flows, how you stand, how you interact, communicate with your loved ones. And within a year, there is not one cell in the body that hasn't replicated newly. And so with journey work, all of these issues, once they are cleared out, the cells replicate freshly and new. And just feel that on the physical level. And then turning around, and you may want to skip or you may want to jump, whichever way. Just come back to the 6 months point and to the 1 month point, to the 1 week point, and then returning back to the apex. And it's decision time. Which one of the 2 paths are you going to choose? Is it the left-hand path, no action, or is it the right-hand path, profound healing happening on this path? And you make your decision. And then I'm asking you to close the door to whatever path you want to ignore, leave behind. And so that there is only one path right now. And it's almost when a decision is made, it's a door closes behind you, and this other path that we are leaving behind can just fall away, can just disappear. And only the path that you choose right now stays right in front of you. And somehow I trust you've made the choice of healing. And then allowing all parts of you to integrate, moving your shoulders, taking a couple of nice breaths in and out, and another deep breath in and out, and trusting that all of this will integrate automatically, perfectly, without you having to do a thing. That kind of every action, everything that you're doing will happen effortlessly, grace guided, of its own accord. And whenever you are ready, you can just open your eyes. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you, Daniel. And it's also time, if there are any questions from anyone, is the journey for me? You've got me here, you've got Daniel here. If there are any doubts, if there is anything there that you are not sure, is this for me? Now is the time. Please put it in the chat box. I have some beautiful positive comments in there of people who have experienced the journey. And there is also time for questions. And this can happen of its own time. And so I'm going to hand over to you again, Daniel, to speak actually about the about the journey. I think that's what's next, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we call the invitation. And Gaby, yeah, stay here with me, and we can keep an eye on the comments.
Yeah.
But let me share an invitation which seems so logical and timely. Actually, in about a week's time, in Europe, from the 20 to 22nd of April, we have the Journey Intensive with Brandon Bass and international presenters. It will be translated in German and Czech, I believe, as well. So it's a live online retreat you can do. And this is available for just 197 euros. But there is also a gift for you, because you've been here part with us of the Trauma Healing and Trauma Awareness Week. And it is that we can gift you 50 euros off. And not just for you, but for anybody and any of your friends who want to come. I will share with you in a minute the special code you need to take 50 euros off the already reduced cost of just 197. This is a 2-day online retreat, Saturday, Sunday, with a bonus day on Monday. And you will learn the healing technology that is the journey method, and what Gaby has shared It will allow you to learn 2 process types, emotional and physical, to really start addressing and clearing what we call trauma and what we've addressed here. If you are in the US, we have an event coming up in North America. Now, this is again online, but it's North American time zone, and the price is $197. And again, a $50 US discount voucher is available for you. If you are on the other end of the world, we have an Australasia event coming up middle of May. The Australian dollar pricing is $397. And all you have to do is go to the 𝐐𝐴nyintensive.com. Now, let me share with you these special discount codes. So this is all on one page, and I'm going to leave that on the page. And if one of our team can please copy that into the Facebook group right now so people have access to that link. And the only thing you need to remember, if you want to join us next week already, you get access to the Journey Intensive live online retreat. Use Time to Heal with number 2 to get €50 off. You can register for both our April event, and we have an event later in end of June. For North America, Time to Heal NA, North America, and for the Australia event, Time to Heal AU. All the different events are accessible via the 𝐐𝐴nyintensive.com. And please be aware, this offer will expire on the 18th of April. So this is literally gives our admin team enough time to register you for the 20th of April. So thank you for copying that in. I can see it happened now. So yes, any questions, please? This will be.
I've got a couple of practical questions here showing up. Hold on a minute. One was, do we get lifetime access? Lifetime access is possible. It's not lifetime, but it's part of a membership, and it's a very, very affordable membership. And so once you've gone through the Journey Intensive, you have access to the teachings. You can go through it again. And so we do everything possible for making the teachings and the work available to our students as much as we possibly can. Gita is asking, how do I avail this benefit as I have already paid for the April 2022 seminar? Gita, can I ask you to invite somebody and get them to use it? We give you the voucher. You can take the Time to Heal voucher and offer it to somebody else. Or if you want to continue on something else, I'd be happily to use it. But the pricing as it is nowadays with €197 is such a low level. We used, when we used to be in live seminars, the price was just under €600. We being able, and it's not just because we offer it online. One of the reasons we want to offer the price at that level is to make it available, to take any barrier away, to take any barrier off, and make it possible for people to come and join. And $147 is goodness gracious. There is, you fill up your car once. There is not much change left from that, or you go out for dinner. And so this changes your life. And I also would love to, while this is showing, just say that I have been instrumental of changing our seminars into online seminars, and I have personally co-hosted and been at the Journey Intensive many, many times. And I'm forever blown away to realize that the power and the depth is equally as strong as it has been at the live seminars. So nothing gets lost, and you can do everything from the comfort of your own home. Not only that, but you save travel costs. For many people, it would have meant a hotel, staying at a hotel, eating out for 3 days. And so all of this you can do from home.
There's even something more, Gabs. When I read through the 10 ingredients of successful healing, safety and trust is number 1. And sometimes people just feel safer in their own home than in a hotel room with 20 other people, right? Or 40 or 50 or 100 as it used to be.
That's very, very true, Daniel. And it's something I have really, really noticed is that I feel in live seminars, the resistances and people withdrawing and doing all the kind of stuff that you spoke about earlier, we don't actually see when people are at home because of this safety, because they feel safe, they feel held in their own homes. And yeah, so it's profound, it's powerful, and it's very, very easy to take in, to learn, to do the process work. We have really, really amazing ways of working with each other. And so anyway, give it a go, whatever.
I would literally say, let me answer this question. One of the people on Facebook, unfortunately I can't see who, it just says Facebook user, if I register for the European event June 29th to July 1st, do I also register before April 18th? If you want to take advantage of this $50 off, €50 off voucher, yes, please. This is how the code works. It is limited to the 18th. If you already know you can come, please do that. I look forward to seeing you there. Another question that came is there a workbook with the event? And yes, there are printouts. As a matter of fact, you will take away hard copies that you print out yourself of the process work, so you can repeat it as many times as you like. Remote work, let me just say one more thing. A single session with a therapist of most of the modalities I shared will cost you the same or more than learning this technology for yourself. And I really feel, I mean, one of the mottos, if you were with the journey like we are deeply involved, one of our mission statements that sits right on the top is the journey in every household. We would love this, we call it healing technology. We would love this to be available to anybody, so that if conflict shows up, if trauma shows up, if triggers show up, we have a way of dealing with it. So our mission to share this with everybody is this invitation for you today. Start your journey to heal from, clear from trauma. Let it have a wider impact on society and environment. And yeah, you can start as early as next week. And the decision now to join us would be absolutely the right decision, if you ask me. What else is here? There is a feedback which says, I'm really blessed. This is remote. I have bad mobility. Thank you for making this available. You're absolutely welcome. We used to travel around the world to be at these seminars. Now we can enjoy them from home. It's a beautiful work. Online.
Question here about, is there a practitioner course? Yes. So it starts with the Journey Intensive, and you get all the information, all the details. If you're interested to do the whole course, you just need to let us know. That's all that we have. We have team members who can talk you through it, can explain everything. It's a total of 5 different modules, and the course usually goes over a year. So, but is the course also in Dutch? We have, yes. The answer is yes. We have all the process work documents in Dutch language. The guy who teaches the European event is Dutch, but he speaks English during the course, so it doesn't get translated into Dutch. But if there are other Dutch people there, then you will be able to exchange your process in Dutch language. So that's what we usually do. When we don't, very often we offer translation, and at this upcoming event we have a Czech translation. There is also, on the very same weekend, we have a German Journey Intensive offered with Bettina Halifax, and so we do cover the breadth of Europe pretty much by going. If I look at the Europe eastern to western side and central, I know Israel doesn't belong into Europe, but Israel is also very proactive in Journey Intensives. We have all the way up to the north. We have Estonia, we have Finland, Germany, France, Netherlands, the UK, Romania, Hungary. And so we offer translation in many of those countries at different times, and we usually say that on our website. The website is 𝐤𝐴𝐷𝐽𝐼.com, so please, if you want to find out more about dates, other dates, languages, please come and have a look. And if you want to avail yourself of the Time to Heal code and the €50 off, it just needs to be done by the 18th of April. And I've got, it is Arnold Timmerman. Yes, somebody said, is it Arnold Timmerman? Yes, it is him. He's been around forever, living in beautiful Spain right now with his wife, Claire. And so, yes, they are, both of them are very much an integral part of the journey.
All right.
I have got 2 places to give away.
Oh, yes, almost forgotten. I said it says prize draw in here on my note.
Say there will be a prize draw, and I hope that the ladies who are chosen are still here. I can't see on here. I can see most of the time Facebook users, so I don't see everybody's name. But I have gone over the last few days. And the 2 ladies that I have chosen for the free places is Lydia Mason, and Irina Holub. So congratulations, ladies. You have got a free place at the Journey Intensive. If by any chance you can't do this week, or you need to, give your tickets to somebody else, or if you've already done it, which I don't think you 2 have, but I hope you can avail yourself of participating, of coming, and huge heartfelt congratulations to join us at the Journey Intensive. So yes. This is it. I think this is it from me. I hope you enjoyed our 3 days of bringing more awareness to trauma, what it is, and it's not the end of the world. I think it's the biggest teaching that we wanted to get across was it can be healed, and that was the title for today. It is possible how to heal, and we've given you all the various modalities, and both Daniel and I and all of us here at the Journey wish that you choose, come and join us, and that you share this. Bring a friend. If you want to come with someone else, that code can be used by as many people you want to share this with. This is not just for you. This is shareable.
So I really, again, from my side here, I just really hope that these 3 days helped you to shine the light on what is trauma. So the awareness, then the acceptance that we all have it, and then hopefully the recognition there is something we can do about it. And whatever you choose, Gaby and I, we want you to be at the Journey Intensive. The document I produced is uploaded and will be uploaded into the Facebook group. If you want, if you can't find it or can't access it, feel free to send me an email, daniel@thejourney.com, and I will forward it to you. And again, it's time to close. I can't believe how intense it was, how much we packed into an hour 15. I really hope that you join us at the Journey Intensive, and we will do that again. I feel the job isn't done. There's still so many people who are slowly becoming aware that trauma exists, and they are in having a really, really difficult time right now. So our job here is to shine the light, make people aware that healing is possible, and invite them. And it's what we've done here today. I really, really enjoyed the time here with you, Gaby. It's always great hanging out.
Me too. Thank you, Daniel. And please keep an eye on our Facebook group. That still keeps going until the Journey Intensive. So if there is anything else, I'm waiting for a message from a dear friend who may come and join me for a little interview also on trauma next week. So we may be doing more things, more spontaneous, popping up, sharing things as the week goes on next week. So keep an eye on it and pop in from time to time and say hello.
The replays will stay available. Invite your friends. If any of what you heard these 3 days benefited you or sounded relevant or resonated, stay in. We're going to do a couple of spontaneous pop-ups, definitely until the 18th. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, and see you again soon. Thank you. Namaste.
Bye.
Okay.
My biggest win with the journey was being able to access my deepest emotions and free myself from them. I feel more calm and serene.
I found my true calling, and now today I can help others. I love to make an impact. I love to see transformation in others' lives.
For years and years, I used to feel very lonely, and now I just feel a part of everything. I feel I'm alive.
My biggest win with joining the practitioner program is owning my own life back and stepping out of a severe PTSD.
The acceptance of myself and the self-love, so I don't need others to love me. That's perfectly okay.
Life is different now because of joining the journey, because I just live in so much abundance. You know, I get up every day with a joy for living. I want to go to work. I want to meet other people.
My biggest win was the really deep knowing I actually do have the answers. They are within me.
There is a lot more certainty and openness into where I'm heading and how I'm feeling about things.
I feel more connected to life. It's not an easy path for anyone to do healing work, but it's profound.
1, I'm more balanced. 2, I'm more grateful for those persons who helped me in this life. I enrich my life every day with this wisdom.
It's priceless. There's no better, bigger investment we can do in time, money, or energy.
I was a mess before I started with this work, and I healed from lots of different types of abuse, and that's a miracle.
My life now, because of the journey, is transformed. I have confidence. Even if I struggle, it's just I have to let go. It's step after step, and it's no danger at the end.
My biggest win is myself. It doesn't have to be anything else. You can be fulfilled even if you only have yourself.
It's more peaceful. I've learned to process emotions. I learned to be more self-aware, and I've learned when you need to ask for help.
I've been able to have a really deep, long, soulful look at myself, and I've been able to uncover, recover, and heal long-term wounds.
My biggest win being a journey practitioner has been becoming a therapist and a healer, because that's what I never ever imagined it to be.
I'm living from a place of freedom and choice. I'm really conscious in every moment. Any sentence I say, it's coming from just pure goodness.
I feel more authentic, wearing much less of a mask. It's about being you and feeling good about it.
I can embrace all that is. I'm here to share my life, my joy. Now I can just be me.
My own journey of healing from cancer is an inspiration for others. I get to work with amazing people, see amazing transformations in their life.
My biggest win is to be yourself. Just be there for other people, to help other people heal, and just to be there.
I know that no matter what comes, I have the right instrument to deal with whatever emotions every situation will bring to me.
It really has helped me come back to a place of wholeness. I feel like completely authentic. I feel genuine. I feel like I'm in my body.
My big win is my courage and my physical healing, my emotional healing. But in one word, I could say freedom.
The journey is all about releasing all of the emotions that create the illness. I was healed physically within 6 weeks, while I had been in pain over 3.5 years.